Hey, so today I want to talk about sex, I want to talk about masturbation, and I want to talk about abstinence, which is the kind of new movement called NoFap, which you can find online. And nowadays, it's become the norm to masturbate and to have sex for pleasure. And we're told, that it's absolutely healthy and that there's no problems doing it, there's no consequences. But these people are telling us that they're the same people that tell us that saturated fats is bad, that cholesterol is unhealthy, all the bullshit about nutrition and about health. And you find them, like, if you Google it, it's the same websites, they tell you, oh, avoid cholesterol, avoid saturated fats, avoid meat, avoid that. And then they say, oh, having sex, you need to ejaculate like 21 times per month, or that having sex is healthy, all the things you find online. And it's kind of funny because back in the day, like, the opposite was common knowledge. When you go back and you look at Hinduism, I learned a lot from it. And they said that from food, when you ingest food, it goes through 7 transformations. And the last transformation is from bone marrow to semen. And this just shows how important semen is, and all the work the body goes through just to produce a little bit of it, And for them, it's a big part of their life, of their culture, abstinence. And they say it brings them health, vitality, and also for spiritual purposes. And when you look at the Chinese Taoism, they say the same thing. They say that when you ejaculate too much, you lose your life force, and that semen is the fluid or the part of the body that contains the most life essence. And they went through a lot of research and fought for just to conserve that life essence. And also, obviously, the monotheist religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, they forbid extramarital sex and masturbation, and they have good reasons for that. And there's also, in literature, in French literature, or I'm not sure if it's used in other languages, but it's called la petite mort. And that was used in the 19th and 20th century, and it basically means the little death. And they say it's like the post-orgasmic state of consciousness, where you lose consciousness. And it's kind of funny because, we've stopped using that term. And also the most striking things I've discovered through my research is that back in the day, today we call it masturbation, but back in the day it used to be called onanism. And if you do research on it, everything that comes out of it is negative, and there's even entire books written about it that says how bad it is and all the effects it does. And just, people used to believe that it makes you blind. People used to believe all the disease were caused by onanism. And I'm pretty sure they've changed the term because they don't want us to find out the truth. And today, it's only been a couple of years, maybe 50, 60, 70 years or a bit more, that we've been using the term masturbation. But before that, the scientific term was onanism. And there's tons of research papers and even in books written about the detrimental effects of it, And when you look at the NoFap community and you look at people that are, on a streak, or people who've relapsed, it kind of started making sense. These doctors back in the day, maybe they were right, Some people say that they have better vision. All of them say they have a deeper voice, better posture, more strength, more energy. Like there's some, basically the whole body just becomes more strong when you abstain from sex. And when you relapse, like everyone says, oh, I feel weak, I feel like a loser, you know, like the both mental and the physical side gets weakened. And one thing I've noticed is that, well, I've not noticed, but from what I understand today, is that ejaculating, there's no like specific effects it does. It's gonna affect us all differently. But what it does generally, it just weakens the body. That's what it does. And today, you know, everyone does it, and we see sex as a pleasurable thing. But, you know, other cultures, and I'm pretty sure, from what I found out anyway online, I couldn't find much about it, but all the people who are in contact with tribes or primitive people, they say they don't masturbate and they only have sex to reproduce. But in our society, sex is all about pleasure and that's, yeah, I don't know. So what I want to finish off by saying is that doesn't mean everyone is doing it or believes that it's the correct way to live your life or correct thing to do, that it's necessarily true.